Welcome again, dear first year students. We were doing scene 2 of Merchant of Venice, a play by William Shakespeare, and the scene has shifted from Venice to Belmont, and we were doing that Portia and Nerissa are having a very intimate discussion with each other, and Nerissa is trying to get the feel of Portia's emotions about the suitors, and she come to know that though all the suitors are very royal princes, but none of them holds a place in Portia's heart. Means Portia does not like any of them. Now Nerissa names another suitor. She says, Nerissa, what think you of the Scottish lord, his neighbour? Portia, he hath a neighbourly charity in him, for he borrowed a box of ear of Englishman and swore he would pay him again when he was able. I think the Frenchman became his surety and sealed under for another. Now, she says that the Scottish lord and the German lord, they both had a fight, and the Scottish lord promised that he would return whenever he had time. So, how like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew? Portia, very wildly in the morning when he is sober, most wildly in the afternoon when he is drunk, and when he is at his best, he is little worse than a man, and when he is worst, he is little better than a beast. Now, she says that when he is sober, when he is at his best, he is little worse than a man. So, little worse than a man, and when he is worst, he is little better than a beast. The worst fall that ever fell, I hope I shall make shift to go without him. Now she says that I am not at all interested in marrying such a man, Nerissa. If he should offer to choose and choose the right casket, you should refuse to perform your father's will. If you should refuse to accept him now, Nerissa, she is joking, and she pesters Portia by saying that suppose that this person chooses the right casket, you will have to marry him, and if you refuse, you will be disobeying the will of your dead father. Then what will you do? Portia says, therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket. Now she says, because this person is a great drunkard and I don't want to marry him. So she says that, Portia, you know which is the correct casket. So put a glass full of wine on the opposite casket, and that person will be attracted towards the wrong casket. So there will be no fear of him choosing me. For the devil be within and that temptation without, I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, or I'll be married to a sponge. You know what's a sponge? It soaks liquids. And she calls this person a sponge because he is a heavy drunkard. He's a drunkard. He drinks like a sponge, Nerissa. You need not fear, lady, the having of any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their home and not to trouble you with no more suit. Unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition, depending on the caskets. Now, she says that don't worry that you will be married to any of these people because they are leaving. Because, there is one condition of participating in this game of casket. And the condition is that if a person chooses the wrong casket, he will never marry again, and he will not tell other suitors which casket did he select. So when these people came to know about this condition, they left. Portia, if I live to be as old as Sibylla, I will die as chaste as Dinah, unless be I obtained by the manner of my father's will. Now she says it is better for me to die unmarried, because I fear that I will be married to a person who does not suit me. I'm glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them, but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God grant him a fair departure. Now, Portia is very happy that all these suitors are going, because she says that I was not happy at their coming, but I'm happy at their going, departure. Nerissa. Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar, and a soldier that came hither in company of Marquis de Montferrat? Now, Nerissa, in the end of the discussion, is taking up the topic of Bassanio. Now, she wants to know the feelings of Portia about Bassanio. Now, she says that, do you remember that when your father was alive, a Venetian came? Venetian, who is the Venetian? A person coming from Venice, that is Bassanio, and he was a scholar and he is a soldier that came hither. Hither means who came here in company of Marquis de Montferrat. Portia. Now, for the very first time, Portia's interest is aroused. Yes, yes, it was Bassanio, and as I think he was so called. Nerissa. True, madam, he of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon was the best deserving a fair lady. I remember him well. Now, Nerissa says that I have looked upon a lot of gentlemen, and this was the person who I think deserve you the most. So he is an able person, Portia. I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise. Now, note this, that Nerissa, Portia, who was making fun of all the other suitors, now for the very first time she is talking positively about Bassanio. She says that I remember him, Nerissa, and I also remember that he is worthy of thy praise, that yes, he deserves your praise. He is as you are talking about him. Enter a serving man. Now, in between, a servant enters. How now? What news? Servant says, 4 strangers seek for you, madam, to take their leave. And who are the 4 strangers? They are the suitors. They want to leave. And there is a forerunner coming from a 5th, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word the prince of his master will be here tonight. And there is one more suitor for you, the Prince of Morocco. His servant has come and he has said that Prince of Morocco wants to meet Portia. Now, Portia says, if I could bid the 5th welcome with so good a heart as I bid the other 4 farewell, I should be glad of his approach. Now she says that I'm glad that all the other 4 stranger people, suitors have gone. And even I want that this 5th one, the Prince of Morocco who has come, he should also departure in the same manner. If he have the condition of a saint and complexion of a devil, I would rather he should shrive me than wive me. Now, she says that I don't despise him for his looks, because he may have a saintly nature behind the dark complexion, but still I would that he should rather shrive me than wive me. Means I don't want to marry him. Come, Nerissa, Sirrah, go before. Whilst we shut the gates upon one wooer, another knocks at the door. Now, this scene tells us that Portia is so beautiful, so intelligent, that worthy suitors from all over the world are coming in quest for Portia. They all want to marry. And we came to know that princes, counts, dukes, all the people of high status in society, they want to marry Portia. And in this scene, we also came to know that there is a condition on Portia's marriage left by Portia's dead father. He has left 3 caskets, one made of gold, another made of silver, and the last one made of lead. And in one of these three caskets, there is kept a beautiful portrait of Portia. And whichsoever suitor will open the right casket will be allowed to marry Portia. So Portia is also sad about this condition of her father, because she thinks that this will has curbed her freedom to marry. And she shares her feeling with a friend and maid, Nerissa, and she says that I cannot marry the person whom I like, nor can I reject the person whom I dislike. But what did Nerissa say? Nerissa says that you should have faith on your dead father's will. He was a very intelligent person and he cannot do anything to harm you. So rest assured and have faith in his will. No unworthy person will be able to choose the correct casket. So she says that have faith that you will be chosen by the most worthy person who deserve you. And here in this scene, we also come to know that once Bassanio came to Belmont and Portia had a look on him. So Portia is also a little bit attracted towards Bassanio. You should notice that she was making fun of all the other suitors, but she did not make fun of Bassanio. Rather, she was remembering him with a very positive perspective. And Nerissa in this scene, she wants to listen from Portia's mouth her feelings about the different suitors. But we come to know that Portia does not like any of these and she is happy in bidding them farewell rather than bidding them welcome. And she is also afraid that if she will be married to any of these persons, she would be unhappy. So, in this scene, we are introduced to Portia and Nerissa, and we also came to know about the condition of the caskets, and we came to know that Portia and Nerissa do not have the relationship of master and maid, but they have healthy relationships of friends. They have a friendly talk and they discuss very frankly with each other their feelings. So this is the end of scene 2 of Act 1. Thank you.